We had spent many hours, this board, defining as clearly as we could what were those qualities that we thought it was necessary for whoever we selected as president.
The challenge they extended to me upon accepting this position 15 years ago, and that was to achieve a lasting transformation of the university from top to bottom. And I think we have achieved that in a number of measurable ways.
Our transformation over the last 15 years has taken a variety of roles. The physical transformation of the campus is very obvious in terms of the number of new buildings that have been built, the renovations of buildings that just needed a makeover. In terms of academics, the creation of the Honors College, a focus on internationalism, focus on study abroad, the creation of the Gatton Academy, which in 5 short years has risen to become the #1 high school in the nation. We've also established 3 doctoral programs during his tenure.
Well, the higher education landscape has changed dramatically, and higher ed reform was the impetus for that.
Higher education reform is one of the 4 or 5 most important legislative acts since I've been in the Kentucky General Assembly. It moved our universities into the forefront. It separated the universities from the community colleges and technical schools and allowed both of them to grow exponentially.
We've led the way. We've been the fastest growing for 14 years. The advent of doctoral degrees that are going to drive Kentucky's economy. I think the curricula and the degree programs on most of the campuses have become more relevant to meet Kentucky's needs from an economic standpoint. That's been important.
Gary and I have spoken often about what was so exciting about that period when we both arrived. And it was the combination of being able to lead an institution but also participate in this ambitious reform agenda that was taking place. Our biggest challenge here, and I expect your biggest challenge and Gary's biggest leadership challenge, is to sustain the momentum in the face of very, very strong headwinds.
I think the capital campaigns have been key to us in a lot of ways, generating the financial capacity to do things, to be that value addedness, to be that degree of quality that we simply couldn't do with state funding alone or with tuition alone.
What has happened at Western here over the last 15 years is truly remarkable, any way you measure it. The size of the endowment, the extraordinary progress on so many different fronts. He's been one of the outstanding Kentucky presidents in Kentucky history, and WKU has been lucky to have him.
I see an energy change among faculty. And I think not just in my college or my department, because I know people in all colleges. I've seen a lot of changes. I've known all presidents except 2, worked under all presidents except the first 2. So I have had a pretty broad perspective, I guess, on what's happening here and what's happened in the 15 years Gary Ransdell has been here.
Campus life and the campus climate has changed under his leadership. During the time of Dr. Ransdell's tenure here, there's been a portion of his leadership, and that has been very special to me, in that the university has become much more diverse.
As I've observed him walking across campus, he's very engaged with students. He attends tremendous number of student activities, academically related activities, in addition to numerous athletic events. His schedule is packed with student engagement.
I talked to a lot of people who went to Western, grads just across the state, and they say, "What Gary Ransdell's done at Western has made their degree more valuable." You hear that quite often.
Gary's vision was greater than ours. I do not have any doubt in my mind about his ability to continue and be strong, and his brain to keep coming up with all kinds of things that will continue to make WKU a stronger, better place.
Gary Ransdell's a very smart man. He's real sharp. He's quick on the uptake. I've said that before. I'll say it again. He's witty. He catches on. And his subtleties don't go past him.
I think Gary Ransdell appears to be about a near perfect fit with WKU. He loves that university. He's an alum. He came home in a very real sense. He and Julie are a remarkable couple, I think, in terms of the role that each of them play. I think they balance each other nicely. I would tell Gary Ransdell, keep doing what you're doing because it's working.